Hello, my name is Yemi and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Women Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Yemi Awosan here, your host of the JAPA Code. I'm super excited. I'm sure you can see the excitement in my voice. I'm super excited for this April. We're live. You're here. This is the April we'll be talking about. And of course, the beginning of another quarter. So we're done with the first three. All right. Thank God for His mercy. Here we go. The first three is gone. All right. So here we are starting a new quarter, a new month and the beginning of another quarter. And we're excited about the month of April on the JAPA Code because this month of April, we're focusing on answering those questions, those burning questions, those trending questions to be able to fill in those gaps as it concerns you and your requests and your desires and the things that are happening in the times so that we can be able to answer some of those questions. All right. Yemi is the name and I'm the host of the show. And today we're talking about learning how to get those overseas jobs, There's a lot of content this evening, I want to appreciate everyone who is joined us, who has subscribed to our channel. Grateful to everyone. And if you haven't, you're new on the channel this evening, kindly just hit the subscribe button and also, click on the notification so you can, receive the notification when we are live on the show. All right, every Sunday, 5 p.m. every Sunday, we're live here on the JAPA Code on the Women Network YouTube channel. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Grateful that we're here. And so we're going to hit the ground running right away. We're talking about how to get those overseas jobs, Let us, this program is brought to you, very important, produced by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Lagos, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. Let's hear a few words from our partners as we go on. All right.
The National Electronic Labour Exchange is a unit in the International Labour Migration in the Employment and Wages Department of the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. The centers are information hubs for the public to meet demands of employment, referral, labor rights, recruitment advice, support, and all employment-related issues, with the aim of educating and enlightening the public on workplace and employment issues, as well as ensuring protection and decent work. Our target audience are students, all categories of migrants, and the general public. For more details, email us on jobcenterlagos@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, a National Electronic Labour Exchange, YouTube, a National Electronic Labour Exchange.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going straight into the talk of today. If you have questions while we continue the discussions with the talk, do send in your questions and then we'll be able to answer them as we progress. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. The focus, again, like I said, is about learning how to get that overseas job, learning to get the overseas job. All right. Okay. So golden rules for a job search. And I'm saying this job search that cuts across any kind of job search, locally or internationally. The first thing here is be resolved. You want to search for a job. It's not the sort of thing that you use, like they say here, use your left hand to be doing. You have to be actively involved in it. We have said it already, there are jobs all around. Jobs are everywhere, all right? There are jobs everywhere. But of course, your choice of job will determine how consistent, how resolved you are to get a job. Number two, be committed and dedicated to it. It's not the kind of thing you do and later on you go. You're leaving the task of getting the job because you have other things to do. All right, but if you're like, I have no job, I got to get a job, you'll be committed and dedicated to it. And this is one of the things we say about job searching. If you are like that, there's no way you're not going to get a job. It's just the mindset, it's just the disposition to it. Number three, be open to all possible options for you. There's so many options. All right, we're talking about options here. I'm talking about the routes, the routes to get the job. There's so many of them. There's so many of them. There are different categories, different sections. So you must be available. You must be open to be able to move when you are required to move. To be able to join different platforms, different systems, to be able to get the job. Number four, be open to switch. And when I say switch here, I'm talking about be disposed to changing your job search. If you're searching to be a manager and you're finding it difficult to crack in as a manager, why don't you go for a supervisor? A supervisor is under a manager, of course, is lower than what you want, but it's a supervisor definitely one day will become a manager, and you might even get to the job and there's a vacancy for a manager and you can easily just go in. But when you say, I want to ask for this job, this is it, you might have a bit of difficulty because times and trends can change for whatever reason. So you must be open to switch. Number five, be committed to being qualified. Now, this can never be overemphasized. Qualification is this. And I'm not talking in terms of just going to get certificates. Not just that. I'm talking about being able to meet the required qualifications for a particular job search, a particular job. If you meet you must know what makes you qualified for that job, and then you can begin to push in that direction. A lot of time in this part of the world, where I'm talking of Nigeria or maybe Africa as a whole, really, most of us are really tuned to just survival instincts. You just want to survive, just want to get a job and just move on. But we're not so particular in terms of being committed to strategically positioning yourself. And those who have done that, they're the ones who have succeeded in their fields. You must be, and when I'm saying this, I'm talking in terms of, not just I've spent years in this particular job, but how have you grown in that particular job you spent so much years in? What are the opportunities that you're taking advantage of? How stable are you? How advanced have you been in terms of that job? And a lot of times we just work and get salary, get paid. But people who are driven in the pace of increasing career, increasing capacity, increasing their self-worth and self-value, it takes a lot more than just being at the job. It's much, much more than that. And that's one of the things that you have to be open to. There must be qualifications for a particular job you're applying for. You must be able to say, how many years have you been on that job? What qualifications have you acquired over that job? And I'm not talking about you just being in one particular job. It can be an industry. It can be a sector. It can be like that. So you have to be committed to being qualified. Number six, be ready to be a person the job requires. You must enter the space of the job. There's so many I want to tell you today about some of this thing because it helps you. It gives you that edge, that difference. Everybody's applying for the same job. And guess what? Some people are even more qualified than you are. But if you can just be the person the job requires, you take the game of searching for a job beyond what the job requires to what you are bringing into the space. You have to own it. You have to become the job. And that way, when you're coming to the person just saying, what have we been doing? We should have employed this person a long time ago. We should have hit this contract with this person a long time ago. And that's what we're trying to achieve, okay? Number seven, now I'm not getting spiritual here, but I'm just going to be frank with you. You have to invoke the spiritual to intervene. Sometimes, like what we learned in the Bible when the man at the pool of Bethesda was there, and it was always saying, look, there's nobody to push me into the pool because the angel of God always comes to turn the pool. There's always a turning. There's always a turning. And I'm going to call those turning, I'm going to call them trends. I'm going to call them world events. If you pay attention to all these things, it always is like saying the spiritual steps into the physical. It just kind of just turns the pool. Something just happens and just opens up a channel. You must always ask for those kind of situations. And for those of us who believe in God, please just tell God to just intervene as well as when you do your bit. I'm not overstepping bounds here. I'm just being real. We can't leave anything to chance. You have to be able. Sometimes you invoke the things you want to have happen. And sometimes when those things happen because of divine interventions or some events of the world, when it happens, you are ready to jump in because you're positioned for it. All right, so these are the golden rules for job search. My golden rules, I'm sure there are more golden, but if you stay within the ambits of this fundamental 7, to me, I'm certain that you're already in a position to achieve something great. You don't have to be there for such a long time, but you're sure that within that span of what you're trying to achieve, you're getting results like ASAP. All right, let's move on. So let's ask, all right? How do we get the job and how do we get that deal? We're trying to crack that code. You know, we're all about JAPA code here, so it's about code cracking. So let's crack the code. All right, so now, there are overseas jobs in high demand. There are those jobs, all right? They are there. Every nation is looking for people to come in, people to do something, people to add value to their nation. They want the best of hands. They want to fill up gaps in their nation. And believe me, guys, there are so many jobs out there. And I'm saying this not just for the sake of those that want to relocate, but also for those who are looking for greater challenges. I'm talking of jobs are there in hybrid format, which is online and offline. Jobs are there on-site jobs. Jobs are there and off-site jobs. Jobs are there as you work remotely. There's so many options and they're available. And guess what? The employers who are looking for these people are not very particular about what you drive your nation. They're not interested in that. They're just interested in your qualification. Of course, there are some nations who have been known to be great guys when it comes to particular kind of things. Yes, we know that. We know that, and one day our nation will be great, except for, sometimes we just reduce ourselves to entertainment and all those, but we are so much more. I'm sure you'll agree with me now, Abi, that there's so much more about us than just all of those things. So I'm saying now that we have so much to offer, so much to offer, all right? So making some progress now. If you have questions at any time, do well, just pop it in. Let me have those questions that you have as we move on, and then we'll be able to answer them on the go. All right, so we're getting into it now. Overseas jobs in high demand. And I'm talking of these jobs are, we can bench it out as UK, but they're all over the world. Data entry clerks and administrative assistants. This is the amount they get. If you're in the UK, this is what you're going to get. Of course, this is not like the top notch. There's so many other jobs that are way higher. But this is it. You have entry clerk and administrative assistants, the jobs are available. You want to get that job? There you go. That's how much you're going to be earning, £16,000 to about £30,000 estimatedly, okay? Because of course, some people are higher, some people are not lower now, some people are higher at this level. They're higher than that, depends on the size of the company. Customer service representative, £16,000 to £30,000 per year, or £30,000 plus per year. Care workers, £18,000 to £30,000 per year, excess of that per year, okay? And these are like basically this might not necessarily, of course, this accommodates extra hours, accommodates bank holidays, accommodates all those, so you can earn between that range, you can earn somewhere between that range, okay? Sales representatives, hey, 18,000 to 50,000, your sales rep, you get the deal striking, your money jacks up, that's it. Teachers and educational professionals, £20,000 to £50,000 plus per year. Environmentalists, environmental scientists and specialists, there you go. Logistics and supply chain professionals, there you go. Graphic designers and web developers, £20,000 to £50,000 per year. Legal professionals, £20,000 to £120,000 per year. Healthcare professionals, £24,000, £110,000 per year. The list goes on. All right, it goes on. You have financial advisors and accountants. They're also there. You have architects and construction professionals. They're also there. Engineers are also there. You have, marketing professionals. There are some of these skills that are actually not even skills that require you to have been taught in a school. There are skills that don't require certification, but requires experience. All right, so if you have experience in these areas, and of course, like I keep saying here, we have experience in this country, but there's so very little way to back up our experiences. There's no document, there's no certification, there's nothing we trained in, there's no training that we had that gave us one certificate of attendance. There's really nothing. We just keep doing, acquiring the skill, acquiring the experience. But so now you need to have all those things, all right? Human resource professionals, 25,000 to 70,000. You have software developers and programmers. That's even trending right now. You have those people, project managers, wow, £30,000, £80,000 per year. Of course, business analysts and data scientists, that's another great one. Cybersecurity experts, and of course, artificial intelligence and machine learning specialists. All of those. Now, these are jobs in high demands all over the world, really, at different levels, at different grades. There are some, like I just said to us, there's some that require certifications, some the strength of those jobs are on work experience. All right, our work experience. You have this years of experience, that's what is required. All right, so you have all those things. And of course, every nation that tells you what certification do you have, basically just talking about short of saying endorsements, talking about which corporate body are you connected to that can say indeed you have gone through the classroom of it before you now went to the practice. That's really what it's all about. Okay, so let's take note of that. Now, UK skilled worker visa shortage. I'm going to focus on UK now. In UK, laboratory technicians, everything that has to do with laboratory, all the jobs under laboratory technicians, you're looking for them. If you are a laboratory technician, the UK is looking for you. Okay, these are jobs that are on the shortage, on the UK skilled worker visa shortage occupations. All right, dancers and choreographers and musicians, they're also required. Bring your talent to the UK. UK says, if you are qualified, hey, get in. We need such people. Art officers, producers, and directors. Yes, there are also, there's a shortage there. You can come in. Graphic designers, here again, graphic designers. They can also come in. Welding trades, also room for you. Care workers, home carers, senior care workers, all the jobs that have to do with care, you're also welcome in the UK. It's also part of the list of the skilled worker shortage. Actuaries, economists, and statisticians. Okay, they're also available. They're also open. The shortage is also there. Then you also have architects, of course, as well. Architects are also open. Then quality control, planning engineers, also shortage list. You have design and development engineers. All the jobs within that category, they're also on the shortage list. Production and process engineers, engineering professionals not elsewhere classified, they're also, also there. IT business analysts, architects, and system designers, the UI UX people, there's room for you as well. Programmers and software development professionals, there's also a shortage on the list. Web design and development professionals, also there's an opening. Information technology and communication professionals, veterinarians also there, actuaries, economists, we've had that before. All right, so all these people are open. The UK has them on the list. And the same way the UK has it on the list, so does a lot of other nations. I'm talking of immigration now. I'm not just talking of people who are in the countries. People who want to come from other countries to come into this nation. It is not yesterday. It is not today. It's been on for many years. There are people, that's why we keep talking about the issue of migration. It's been there. It's a normal thing. Nations are in partnership with other nations. There's agreements, MOU signed by nation to nations. There's so many of these things that are available. It is there. And so if you feel you have what it takes and you're within that scope and you have, what is required, then hey, do the long shot, find out any of these jobs available. Now, it's not even just for jobs. It talks for relocation. It's also for job expansion. You want to expand your tentacles, you want to expand a lot of people who got a job, their focus was not relocation. Their focus was just get a job. And guess what? The UK branch of the company or UK company has an opening, and they're in Nigeria. And someone said, look, you can apply for this job. You are qualified for this job. And the person applies, hey, guess what? Gets the job and moves to the UK. By the time the person is done with the UK job, I say, you know what? I want to get another job, another higher scale job. Gets the job, applies for the new job, and the new job says you're coming to Nigeria. The person comes back to Nigeria. It's pretty much the regular process. All right? It's pretty much the regular process. So you have to decide if you want to do this. The opportunity is there. Remember what I said? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for it? The opportunity is there. And everyone who is interested in it takes advantage of it. And there's so much benefits, benefits as for yourself, benefits for your family, benefits for your career progression. It's available. So whatever one you choose to do, just trust there's a way. So now you just need to go find a way. A lot of people, we know that a lot of people who are considering relocation, at some point, one of the routes to go is through education, which is fantastic as well. You're adding value, you're collecting knowledge, and when you're done with the knowledge, you want to use it for advancement of your career, and of course, add value to the host country, and later on come back to your own country. The same thing. So there's so much opportunity. If you want to go work direction, it is just equally as strong across board. All right. So this is very important information. And I think that we're going to put all of this in the notification box as well for those of us who might have one or two questions to ask. Maybe you want to click on this link and get some information out for yourself, or something that you can use to refer to us or do some more research. All of these has been quoted to you. They're all information available on the site of some of this nation. We just amalgamated them together so we can make them available for us. So we're going to move on, but before we do so, I'm going to go for another short break. Go for another short break real quick, and then when we come back, we will continue with the talk. All right, this is the JAPA Code, and my name is Yemi.
The National Electronic Labour Exchange is a unit in the International Labour Migration in the Employment and Wages Department of the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. The centers are information hubs for the public to meet demands of employment, referral, labour rights, recruitment advice, support, and all employment-related issues, with the aim of educating and enlightening the public on workplace and employment issues, as well as ensuring protection and decent work. Our target audience are students, all categories of migrants, and the general public. For more details, email us on jobcenterlagos@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, a National Electronic Labour Exchange, YouTube, a National Electronic Labour Exchange.
Hello, my name is Yemi, and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes, and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Women Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on the JAPA Code. All right. So I'm going to make progress now on our presentation today, how to get the overseas job. All right. How to get the overseas job. So just trying to switch on to my slides again. All right, there we go. So now we're going to make some progress. So the next thing we're talking about is the element of getting qualified. Element of getting qualified. Now, you must be familiar with what the job requires. Get trained and get the work experience required. Now, there are different jobs based on the website of all these countries. Each of them who speaks about, each of them wrote first have these vacancies, this opening to fill up. All of them have what are the requirements for you to be considered an applicant for that job. They have it listed there. And fundamentally for them really is, one, you must be qualified. You must be qualified for the job to apply. The employer wouldn't even consider you if you're not qualified. So what does it mean to be qualified? Two basic things. One, you have to be trained. You have to be trained, formal training. It could be training can come in form of a certification, which is a certificate that you got from a training you attended. So that's one, or registration with a particular international body or recognized body, professional body, for that kind of job they are going into. All right. So, and the next thing would be the work experience. How many years have you been doing the job? So that now those two things get you fundamentally qualified. Now, each job has its own scope. Each job has its own extent. So it could be, it's like somebody that's looking wanted to bid for a contract. Of course, traditionally, one of the things that, you're supposed to, present again would be years of experience, your portfolio basically that has your years of experience, your jobs that you have done, and of course the certifications that you have, and the usual, the tax also come to play. But if you're looking for a job, you want to be trained, work experience as well. Now, those two things are the fundamental key to enter into an employer stable, for the employer to even want to consider you at all. All right, so you must get qualified. I've said it a lot of times. In this part of the world, we don't pay too much emphasis on qualifications. And I'm not talking about, when I say qualifications, please, let's just note that I'm not talking about you just getting the paperwork and say, I'm qualified because I went for this job and this is my paper, this is my certificate to say, no, qualified is two parts. Number one, get trained, get the certification for training, and then the work experience. Those are the two things that get you qualified. Now, in this part of the world, many of us have work experience, a lot of work experience, and almost no training. Training here means training that you collected a certificate, not just a random training, a training that is connected to the work experience that you're having, that you went for that training, you have the certificate. You have the document to say that indeed I went for that training. And when you say your work experience in that particular, particular certification that you have, those combined elements, very few of us are able to focus on that. In this part of the world, we must get ourselves to that place where we're constantly in that space. We must do it. And this is a challenge to as many people out there. You've been working in that industry for a long time. Fantastic. You have the years of experience, but you have the training that says that you are qualified. Some of us, what you did in your first degree is related to what you're doing right now. Kudos to you. A lot of other people, that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. And they have so many years of getting involved in jobs, doing jobs, but they don't have. So you need to go get that certification. Look for the required certification for your industry. And when you're doing that, it's not a bad idea if you're focused on, I want to get a job abroad. I want to work with foreign, from overseas businesses. I want to get, so what are they looking for? Those are the things that you go and get. The person who decides to go to school in the US and decides to go to Harvard in the US is not going to Harvard because he has so much money to throw away. He's going to Harvard because it's connected to what he wants to do in life. And when the time comes, throwing the cards, I attended Harvard, it's going to make a lot of difference. And the same thing with every other university all over the world. It depends on what you were looking for, what you want to get. So getting qualified, I can never overemphasize it. It's critical. We must get in that headspace of our qualification. Number two, tailor your resume. Now, this is important. You tailor your resume or your CV to suit the employer. We must become the job. Don't forget the buzzwords. Every employment has its own buzzwords. They know what they are looking for. That's what I mean by buzzwords. They know what they're looking for. They know what they want you to be when you're coming into the job. All right? Very important. So you must tailor your CV to be that. And when I'm saying this, sometimes we tend to fall victim of just doing your CV or getting some contractor to help put your CV together. And you forget that you're the one carrying that CV. You must be that CV. You must become that CV. Of course, you're not lying on your CV. That would be really terrible. So you must be that CV. You must internalize that. You must become that CV. And that CV is focused not to employ you. You are not trying to employ yourself. You're trying to get the other company to employ you. So it must be focused on that company, not you, not your choice. Your part of the equation is for you to enter into the space, into the script, into that desire of that company. That's your job. Enter into what that company requires. And it starts from your CV. It starts from your resume. That's where it all starts. You push forward the parts of your life, parts of your efforts and your work in life, your every process you've gone through that favors that company. So when they pick it up, they're going to be just seeing what they're looking for. You don't send a CV for carpenter to an electrician. It's not going to work. It's going to say, you are better off as a carpenter. Anyways, I'm looking for an electrician. Even if inside what you did, you worked as a manager of a whole estate, you could have put in the electrical part of your work, in which case you have monitored the electricians, following them. You could have said that, but you're now saying estate. I'm not looking for an estate agent. I'm looking for an electrician, all right? So you must do that. You must become the job right there on your CV. You must become the person you're looking for right there on your CV. Let me give you a quick instance. There was someone who we're trying to do an interview for. And when our CV came up, because so many other people's CVs were there, but somehow we came onto our CV. And by the time I looked at our CV, it's the CV soft. It just she tailored it based on the information we put on our website. And it's very important. When you're writing your CV, what are they advertising? What is the company advertising? What is the request of the company that is making what are they asking for? That's what your CV must be like. The lady put all that in, and by the time we pick up the CV, we looked at it, it was quite fascinating because we're kind of just seeing ourselves inside the CV. By the time we now read our cover letter, that's another very important thing. We read our cover letter and we just saw it was quite certain that this person went to our website, pick up the buzzwords from our website and wove it into a very well-crafted cover letter and, of course, CV. By the time you came for an interview and I asked the question, how did you write this? What did you do to write your CV? I said, no, I went to your website and I saw this and I did it. I was like, wow. Those kind of people, that kind of orientation is what a lot of companies are looking for. A lot of contracts are based on that. All right, spend time. Don't go left-handed things. Spend time to look at your CV. Let your CV be tailored to the person you are trying to target. Of course, you're not going to just carry the words that you're putting there because you have to defend your CV at some point. So you have to make sure that you understand it and you present your CV in favor of that thing that you're applying, that job you're applying for, knowing that you have picked on the employer's request or the employer's desires, and you put it up there for people to see. All right. So buzzwords, every job has their buzzword. They have the words they're looking for someone that's dedicated and committed. That speak of the word dedicated and committed. They look for somebody who's able to diversify. A person who doesn't need mentoring. He doesn't need monitoring. A person that can self-inspire. Those are the words you want to also put into your application. Tailor your resume to favor the job. The next thing, register on job search platforms. Register on job search platforms. One of them on top list that I can wrote there is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, people, that is the #1 job search platform in the world today. LinkedIn. A lot of great contracts, a lot of great jobs, great connections are going on constantly on LinkedIn. It's not subject to discussion. I've spoken to a lot of people. They say, you have an account on LinkedIn. Say, I don't really have an account on LinkedIn. You're not ready for career. If you're ready for, and I'm not even just saying career alone now. I'm talking career and also talking job expansion, growth, connections of business. It happens a lot on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is verifiable. LinkedIn is real. Of course, the same situation prevails. Tailor your LinkedIn profile to suit the job you're applying for. Today, you might be applying for the job of a manager. Tomorrow, you might be applying for the role of a director in a company. Tailor your CV to favor whatever job you're applying for. LinkedIn. So we're going to have a talk within the month of April as well. We're having a teaching on LinkedIn. There's a professional that's coming in. He has used LinkedIn to get, his whole life is on LinkedIn really, to get jobs, get contracts, local and internationally. He's been doing that for lots of years. So he's going to come in and talk to us about how to set up that. It's a practical session. So we're going to have to all open our phones and go to LinkedIn and begin to follow all his directions to be able to get that thing done. The other part is Reed. Reed is another website. You can also go to, just type in REED. It's about job search, job platform. You go there, log into their system, register with them, and then put in all your CV into their system. Glassdoor is also there. Indeed, very good. Monster, Rip Recruiter, you have all of these guys. So you can just go and register with them, put in all your CV into it. When you're searching for a job abroad, you have to put your CV on platforms that the jobs, the overseas jobs are put on, so that you can easily have notifications when these openings are available. Okay, very important. You just can't go wrong. Don't forget, let me just do a quick recap on the things that I said. The first one I mentioned is about getting qualified. You must be ready. You must have the qualification. If you say tomorrow I want to go into IT, get qualified as an IT specialist. If you say tomorrow I want to go into being a teacher, get qualified as a teacher. Then you now move on to the next area. Tailor your resume right. Now I'm a teacher, I'm qualified. Edit your resume, put it in the right format, let it be ready, become your resume, become your CV. Then, of course, put them all up on the platforms. On LinkedIn, some of them ask you to load up the PDF or the Microsoft Word format onto their system. Some other wants to tell you to enter your details because they have created a template in the system. Just register your CV onto their structures, and it's easy for them to just shoot it to every employer who is interested. Just click send, and they just send it off if you're okay with the job that is there. So all of these guys are all available for you. If you're searching for a job online, you're searching for some advancement in career, you got to be involved with most of all these things. Just drop your stuff in all of them. Spend time. This is like a job. It's a job looking for a job, all right? So spend time to do that. Now, on this platform, now this is also very important. You know, so many of us, we have notifications to accept the friendship of somebody, and particularly on Facebook, we have all those kind of things. I feel you are clicking invite, automatically, it's fine. I mean, it's social media. You never know what if. That's why you have so many people who have so much information that are posting, and you are subject to just looking at them. All right, but when you are ready for jobs such as job hunt, you must be intentional about your connections. And on LinkedIn is noted for that. You don't just add people. No, you don't do that. Deliberately look at this person's profile. Is this person relevant to where you're going? Immediately you have tailored your CV to the next dimension of your life, you connect to people who are related to that dimension, notifications will come up. And that is the kind of thing you want to connect to. Your connections are very important to your progress. Very important. You can be a worker in a place and be connected to the CEO of another company somewhere else. The person would, before you know, you have people just coming into your inbox and telling you, are you interested in this sort of thing? I have this opening somewhere. They'll be telling you about the openings available. They will just be hinting you, this is available. If you're interested, I think you're very good at this sort of thing. You should go for it. People are going to be referring you to jobs. Of course, they'll also be referring jobs to you. All right, so you must, this is very, very extremely important. I can never overemphasize this part because a lot of us, when it in secular lives, there are so many people around us, so many of them are not really relevant to you. They're just in the numbers as is well. When it comes to career, you don't joke with your connections. You don't play around with your connections. When you're talking, let your connections know that this is who you are, this is what you represent. It's a place of intentionality. It's like somebody that is registering to attend, registering to showcase at the trade fair, international trade fair, or some of the Lagos trade fair. You're there, you're not there to play and keep back. You're paying money to get on that platform. And so when you're there, you want to make sure your best food is what you brought forward. Okay, that's how it is with this kind of platforms. It's not a joke platform, it's a sincere. So you must be deliberate about your connections. I think I've driven that home quite well. I think I've driven that. And this is also very critical. Direct calls. It's going to cost you. And I'm talking of international calls now. I mean, you can't want to play in the big league and not want to spend some money. It's inevitable. Now, if you don't have so much money, maybe this, you might just want to play down on. Of course, you have limited more time to spend to be looking for. But if you're able to afford direct calls, it could be a WhatsApp call, it could be a direct call to the person. I mean, how much will it cost you? What can you spend? I don't know, maybe 30 naira or 15 or 100 naira on a call. Just prepare your mind, load up your phone, and then don't make calls when the thing is out. They say, oh, sorry, I'll call you back, I ran out of credit. No, in the international world, they don't run out of credit. They just keep running, they just keep calling. So the same way, be prepared to make direct calls. That is very, very important, okay? Prepare to make direct calls. Direct calls to the direct numbers. It might be true to the, so part of the things that you must notice when you're putting on LinkedIn, one of those people you're going to be connecting with, you're moving it a notch higher, going straight for the target. What is the target? The HR managers, your the managers themselves, HR officers, the managers themselves, supervisors themselves, and of course, the big one, the CEO himself. All of them have LinkedIn accounts, direct LinkedIn accounts. So you want to make sure that you connect directly to those people. All right. You don't have the luxury of, you're just going to get this guy and this guy. Maybe not necessarily. You have those people, definitely. Colleagues who are already working there, they will paint you on this and that if you already get connected to them. But more importantly, are those decision makers who are determinant of whether you get the job or not. So that's that. And so when you're making the direct calls, these are the same people you're making calls to. I know of somebody, such stories, somebody who placed the call, was looking for a job and placed the call to a company, direct call to that company that day. Brethren, that day on that call was when he had his interview. He just called the number and said, look, I'm looking for this job. I was wondering if you guys have an opening on this 7. The person was like, where are you calling from? He said, I'm calling from this place. He said, okay, are you, what's your qualifications? He said, tell me something you have done before. He said, this is what I've done. He said, have you had this restaurant? I said, what if I have this situation? At the end of the day, the man just told him, all right, so we'll be in touch with you. We've just had an interview. We'll be in touch with you and let you know whether you did well, if you did well or not. Guess what? Within the next 48 hours, there was a call coming through to him, and there was a mail sent to him, and he just sent all his documents, and they wanted to see his papers and everything. Sent it to him. Within 2 weeks, the guy already had the document, had the deal struck. He's already employed. And then the next thing is take your document, go get your visa, and he's in the country. Within 1 month, this guy was in the other country. So it happens. Phone calls allows you to get those jobs. It is quite possible, right? So never play down on the calls, never play down on the calls. All right, so also the element of recruitment agencies. I can overemphasize that agencies are legal entities. If you must, just get the right one. Each country have accredited agencies who are recruiting agencies, licensed agencies. So they're all there. We'll drop the link also on the notification box as well, so that you can also get there to click them and go and check. If you want to use agencies, you have people who are contractors, who are necessarily agents. They are not agents, but they're just middlemen. As long as you're sure it's not a license for you to just keep going for middleman, But like I said, it would have been the same thing if you're going on LinkedIn and got to somebody who used to know somebody that worked in this company now. So you have those kind of connections as well. So you have people that refer somebody to say, look, this guy has a connection with this person. If it's possible, there's an opening in this company that can help you to connect to the company. What do you require? All those things, but make sure whatever it is legit, so that you don't fall victim of the wrong thing. This is very, very important. A lot of agencies are there, supposedly genuine agencies that have trapped a lot of people. You don't want to get yourself into such situation, all right? So make sure that you do the needful, you connect with the right people, and then you go. But like I always say to a lot of people, when it comes to jobs or it comes to career boosts, the most important element, the most important person in the whole equation is you. You must be in that space that you can get the job yourself. You can push the buttons, you can know what to do, and advance in ensuring that you do the needful, all right? And of course, prepare for your interviews. Interviews are to know you and your capacity beyond your CV. The interview speaks to seeing you, the person. Let's hear you talk. We know you have written all the English, you have written your CV. Of course, some people also know that those CVs would have been tailored, copied and pasted and all that. So when they talk to you, you have to be your CV. Remember that I told you at the beginning that when you're doing your CV, you must internalize your CV. Don't let somebody just do the CV for you and you just say go for interview, and then you're talking somebody totally different from your CV. That would be really, really hilarious. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you are your CV. And when they speak about knowing you beyond your CV, they're talking about your experience. And most of the questions that would come, some of them might actually be tailored, to just ruffle your feathers a little bit. But most of them are focused on listen to you share your experience. How would you do the situation? How would you handle this circumstance? How would you handle this? Depend on the job you're applying for, or the country you're bidding for. How would you do this? What happened when you did this? What is the element of this particular job you're trying to apply for? Those are the things that bring into real situation and ask you questions based on those situations. So you must prepare for your interview. If you said you have done this course and you're licensed for this course, or you have the certification for this course, they might ask you a question based on that course, because that course might be a relevant course to what you're doing. They might give you a question based on your experience when it comes to a particular issue, because that issue that you're going to be faced with is one of the issues that happens in their own job. They just have varying situations. So you must know the company you're working. And before you get interviews, of course, the company would have spoken to you. They'll have told you they're considering you. They will have sent you some scheduled an interview with you some days. So you already know, okay, this is the company that contacted me. This is the company that is looking for a job, that is giving me an opportunity for a job. So they'll have so I must go to them, go to that company, their website, their whatever it is that I want to know more about. So you learn all that you can about them before you hit the ground of the interview. All right. So very important as well, as I bring this talk to a close. The more impatient you are, the higher your risk of falling victim of extortion and wrong advice. You must be patient. Now, patient means it's not determined by time. It's just that you must have the heart to look. I have dropped this. I've made a call. Just be patient. Just be patient. What seems as if there's nothing coming could actually be a bureaucratic process at the other end. They're going through, maybe they have 100 CV. They're going through the 100 CV. Your impatience, of course, is a demerit for you. I'm sure you know that. So you have to be patient. Wait for it to come. Of course, while you're being patient with A does not mean that you cannot be going to B, C, D. I know people who got offers of 4 or 5 jobs. The offers just started raining on them. And before you know it, they have to start choosing which one should I take, which one should I take. This one is very good. So they have to start choosing. It happens. It happens. When the company is not communicating with you now, frankly speaking, does not mean they will not be able to communicate to you 1 year after. Though they will tell you, oh, we actually shortlisted you that time, but we had a bit of a handful, but we felt that we can always reach you at a later time when we have another opening. So here's the later time we have another opening. Are you still available? It happens to a lot of people. So be patient. Be patient. When you finish it, but don't forget, you cannot be patient when you have not done the needful. I'm not exchanging needful for patient. If you don't do the needful, you don't merit being patient. You must be patient. Run the race, go and get the job done. All right. So that's that. All right. Thank you so much. I've come to the end of the slides of today. I hope it's been impactful. I hope it's been very impactful. I've had swell time just doing this alone. I've felt so much passion about it because a lot of people. There's so many blanks, so many gaps you want to fill. I want to be able to get this job. I want somebody who has listened to this and has been able to use it and recognize what this is all about, to be able to just let us know that indeed this thing really makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to key into it. I'm certain career expansion, career growth, new job levels, new heights, new open doors, and all of that. These things are going to happen. This is not going to happen. So if you fall into any of this category, you're able to take advantage of this to move yourself to the next phase. We'd like to hear from you. I would like to hear from you. I'd like to hear from you. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can use, I'm just going to put up our details now, so you can use that to contact us. All right, you can reach us. WIMO Consult, building capacity, deploying resources, human resources now. So you can reach us on this information on social media. We're at WIMO Consult. A phone number, WhatsApp now. WhatsApp phone number. Oh, it was it's there. It's there, guys. It's right there. Okay, so and then of course, wimoconsult@gmail.com. All right, so you can reach us in any of those information. I will be able to answer you. If you have questions, you have clarifications you want, please feel free to get to us in any of those platforms. As I bring this talk to a close today, something very important. Next week, Sunday. Wow. You know what? Before I go there, let me just let's hear from our partners one more time. Let's hear from our partners one more time. Something big is about to happen next week, Sunday.
The National Electronic Labour Exchange is a unit in the International Labour Migration in the Employment and Wages Department of the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. The centers are information hubs for the public to meet demands of employment, referral, labor rights, recruitment advice, support, and all employment-related issues, with the aim of educating and enlightening the public on workplace and employment issues, as well as ensuring protection and decent work. Our target audience are students, all categories of migrants, and the general public. For more details, email us on jobcenterlagos@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, a National Electronic Labour Exchange, YouTube, a National Electronic Labour Exchange.
Hello, my name is Yemi, and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes, and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the WIMO Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by WIMO Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment.
Back, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us on the JAPA Code. All right, it's been an exciting episode here today. So next week, Sunday, I beg your pardon. Next week, Sunday, the 9th of April, we have our next package for the month of April. This is an exciting one. We're having this question and answer session on how to get a job as a care assistant. As WIMO Consult, we're also involved with helping as many who are interested in getting qualified as care assistants. We also help them to prepare them to becoming qualified as carers. Don't forget that I said there are two things that get you qualified. The first thing would be the certification. You must be certified. You must have the qualifications to be that. Then the next thing would be the work experience. And so with us, with care assistants, we have the capacity to get you trained and of course also help you to get you to do the work experience. Those two elements get you qualified. So if you're interested in this session, I have a lot of people asking questions. Okay, so this care assistant, what does it take to be a care assistant? I want to know what is involved. You get to be able to get those questions answered. If I go with care assistant, can I get my family to go with me? You get to have those questions answered. Of course, and so many other questions that you might have. This is like a solution to so many questions out there of people who are considering relocating or JAPAing, using the care assistant route. But like I said, the information is what you can work with so that you don't get trapped, you don't get sucked into the wrong thing. There are so many things. A lot of people who have been a part of this show, maybe this is the first time you're watching it, please spend some time to watch the previous episodes of the show where we have Dr. Sad and of course the Deputy Director, the head of the Migrant Resource Center also had talks with us. So many great content that we shared ahead. And that's why we're coming to this point of getting to more practical. But those information you need, fundamental information you need that will get you to be knowledgeable and know what to do, know what you're doing. It's already available for you. So if you want to go through the care assistant route and you're thinking, okay, so how does this work? You want to be part of this episode next week, Sunday, 5 p.m. next week, Sunday, we're going to be live here. Invite your friends, everybody coming in, tell them, hey, look, you got to be on this show. You got to ask, you get to ask your questions. And of course, it's a show, so it's free of charge. You got to ask your questions, be there, ask your questions, and you learn so many things that you can learn about the care assistant route. And I'm talking about care assistant, the same applies to senior carers, the same applies to supervisors of care homes and the like. So just make yourself available. If you're interested, come in, let's have this talk. Invite people to come, let them know what it's like. I have a lot of people who are able to even, who are on, even not in Nigeria, in the UK, on student visas, who want to convert into work visas, of course, which means they have to get a job. I guess some of them are saying, look, I need to know what does it entail for me to become a care assistant so I can get a job. There's so many of these questions coming in. So we felt, look, let's address this issue. Let's come on the platform and have this issue made available for those who are interested. So April 9th, 5 p.m. That's Easter Sunday. Woo! That's Easter Sunday. So be here 5 p.m. Join us on the JAPA Code as we speak on the care assistant road. All right, everyone, thank you so much. It's been a great episode. I need to wrap this up now. It's been an exciting episode. So again, questions, comments, you have what she says you want to ask, just put it up on the notification, on the comment section, and we would gladly answer them. Thank you so much. It's been a great time today. I had so much fun being able to do this because I know, like I said, a lot of people have been inquiring about this and wanted to really learn, know what it's all about. And this has given them that opportunity to do that. So if it has been helpful, like I said again, share the link, like the show, and share the link to as many people as your friends and your contact that can benefit from it. And then, so next week, Sunday, those who can, please let them come and attend the program as well. It's been a great time. I appreciate everyone for being a part of this. And I trust that I'm going to get a lot of likes, and share, and share. This is the JAPA Code on the Women Network. JAPA Code is in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center in Lagos. It's been a nice one. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Bye-bye.